and then start recording audio. And let me just do something real quick. Where's this thing? All right. Yeah, I'm ready to go when you are.
We're good? We're going?
We are going.
No. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Does It Get Better? Mental health podcast about hope. Uh, I'm one of your hosts. I'm a host. Neil Rubenstein.
I'm another host, Rich Gaccioni.
Um, Today's episode 18.
Episode 18.
Episode 18 is entitled Grief. I wanted to do grief because we talk about dealing with loss a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
My parents, your dog, your grandpa. Um, but I'm having a hard time. Like, you can compartmentalize those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like my parents die. You put that in a bucket, dead parents, and everyone understands what dead parents means. They
Mm-hmm.
understand the emotion you're going through. They understand, you know, where you're coming from, where you're going to. What about? Hmm, So not last night. I found out today, but not last night. The night before,
Mm-hmm.
a good friend's good friend died.
Okay.
So I, it doesn't. I don't feel loss,
Right.
but I feel horrible for my friend.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And how do you like? Where do you put that? Like, where's that bucket?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like your dog died. We know dog died. That's this emotion. That's this, you know, range of emotions and this idea.
Right.
But what about your friend's friend? Like I I want to give him a hug.
Right. Of course. There's a sympathetic response. There's like an empathetic response. Um, but there's also like for me, I think maybe for you too, there's like a distancing that you want to naturally give that person though, because you didn't know your friend's best friend or whatever. Like you have a distance from that person who passed away, but you have a relationship with that person who's feeling a loss. So like it's like this ladder of like, where's the limit in which I can emotionally respond to this situation, right? I kind of like, I know for me, I've reacted to friends like pet passing away too, and like reacting to myself because I know that person, I know how much that hurts. So like I react to it like very intensely actually. Like I feel that and I like will feel it myself, but then I'll be more apt to be like give a sympathetic interaction with my friend, but no, they have to deal with it, and I'm just kind of like an offering of like sympathy. It's a weird like little dance you have to do, or that's kind of how I
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I reached out to him. I was like, at first I thought it was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone was like, "Oh, Brian passed away," and I was like, "What?" Like, no, he didn't. Come on, this isn't funny. It's not a funny joke.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to his page, and it's like a bunch like,
Right.
"I can't believe you're gone." I can't. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And the first thing that hit, like, I know the guy or knew the guy, but that wasn't like the first thing that hit wasn't like, "Oh, Brian." First thing that hit was like, "Yo, Joe must be
Right.
crushed."
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I texted him right away, and I was is this for real? Like this really happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like I I feel awful for you. Let me know if if you want to deal with it, or if you want to ignore it,
Yeah.
I'll help you ignore it. I'm just like my heart's broken for my friend,
Hmm.
like
I always
man,
I
like
always assume that in those kind of situations, and this is probably like something I could work on the next time it, well, the unfortunate next time it comes up, but I always feel like someone has someone closer that they want empathy or sympathy or support from rather than me, right? So I don't ever
oh,
want to like get in the way or be burdensome of being like, hey, let's go out to eat, let's go get you some, let's go to a movie, let's just come hang out. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be in the way of what they may need.
you don't want to be like the guy in the movie that's like, you know what you need, bro? Strippers. Let's get, and the guy's like, that's
That's
not at
not what I
all.
need. No, that's not
That's
what I
not what I
need.
need at all. And you're like, no, strippers, bro. You don't know what you need. What you need, like,
But I know what I would offer is like completely just normal. But I always just work like, yeah, exactly. I don't want to be like the guy who's just trying to drag somebody out when all they want to do is just like, cry on their couch, because I've been there as well. So,
yeah,
like, and I definitely respect, because going through loss and grief and stuff, I definitely know how important it is to just have your own time and be alone and like not respond to people and stuff. Like you need that time to just kind of be like, all right, now I can talk to people. And then like you don't want the first dude who's reaching out to you to be like, yo, let's go get beers and fucking wings and fucking strippers.
yeah.
Like, no, let's
Brian would want that. Brian would want us to
yeah,
party
yeah,
right
Brian would
now.
want, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
Yo,
like,
if
but
Brian
it's
were
like
alive
all,
right
but
now, where
it's
would we be? At his place, down a few 60s or whatever. I don't know,
60s.
40s. What I
For,
don't
yeah,
know.
for the extra.
I'm so far removed. I was like, 60s is a word, right? 60s. We're
It,
down a few 60s of eight logo. Is that a thing?
60s of 8 Loco. It's all well intentioned, and it's just like, just like you want to be there for somebody and you're like, oh man. But then it's like you don't want to seem like you don't care about the person who we lost or they lost. You know what I mean? Like you kind of like,
I get,
this is
yeah.
like this is
I
how
hear
my
that.
brain works. You know what I mean? This is like me
Yeah.
just like over fucking thinking like every
No,
layer
no,
of
I'm
it.
bummed that Brian died too. That's not what I'm saying. But are you okay?
Yeah. Uh,
Nah, yeah, it's like it's crazy to me because it's like, he's a guy who's younger than us, and it's like,
what kind of if I may ask, what kind of situation was like? Did they know how he passed away, or is it like just you don't want to talk
well,
about
I
it
didn't
kind of
want to
thing?
ask Joe,
Hmm.
and the guy who I found out from, it was just like one of those Facebook posts. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna message him privately to be like,
of
oh.
course. Yeah, yeah.
And then I did have one conversation with like another my level, where like the whole focus is like, yo, Joe must be bugging out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the whole like my whole day today has just been like oh man, like just empathizing with Joe, like this kid Joe, like
Hmm.
man, I don't know how I would deal with like someone that close to me right now.
Hmm.
Whew,
Yeah,
right now it would be rough, man.
yeah.
I don't know if he doesn't
So, are you
seem like
saying you would or would not accept an invite to On the Border if something terrible happened? And I was like, yo, I'll drive down there right now. I'll take you on the border, and then we'll get wings at your favorite wing spot. How's that sound? And you'd be
I
like,
mean, of course. You know what I mean? But that's more like you driving down? All right,
all
man.
right.
All right. I don't know. don't know if I'm in the mood for chips.
but the burritos are really good. Yeah,
Oh, God.
it's funny you just mentioned what I'm not funny. It's weird timing. I just was looking at Instagram before we connected here, and Frank Iero posted something about someone we worked with when he was a stage manager for MyChem, and he passed away. And he reposted somebody's post of that, and I was just, it's like he was like, I mean, it's like what do you in that moment, and it's worth you find out on social media, and you're like, what do I say? So I left a comment just like, holy crap, I'm like sorry to hear this news. You're such a wonderful guy, and gave a little a message, but then I sit there and I'm like, is that enough? Is that not enough? Should I not have said anything? What do I say? It's yeah, you just kind of go through this like do I want to know more info? Do I want to just it's so weird.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, like especially like with how we communicate these days. Like, so I'm, first thing was text Joe like, yo, man, like I can't imagine this awful.
mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure you have your network, but if you need an outside,
Right.
you know. And then he was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, I can't believe it. Like I got the news, and I'm like, I'm still kind of in shock. And then he's like, I I'm trying to debate what kind of internet tribute to leave or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, like what do you do? Like, like then it's real for sure.
Right.
And that's like such a weird thing. Like you like post on like the dead guy's page,
Yeah.
like
Dude,
he's gonna miss you. Like he's checking
yeah.
his fucking Facebook.
All of that stuff seems so well intentioned. I know it's all well intentioned, but I think everybody still, even though no matter how well intentioned, like internet memoir or remembrance or whatever posts, no matter how well intentioned they are, I think we all still know that they feel
Gross.
gross. Yeah, they just
Gross.
they just feel gross. It's like, because it's like, okay, I hit send, it's there, and boom, it's like, I know it's not the case, but it seems like you can hit enter, submit, and then it's all right, I did what I needed to do.
And then I'm like,
And
and then you're like,
exactly. But I mean, I'm not saying all or many people do it like that means that, but it's definitely like, it seems that way though. It can seem that way.
so like, a few months ago, can't remember, dude. Everything's such a blur. Just like pandemic
Yeah.
era.
A few months ago, which was probably like a year and a half
It
ago.
could have been April. It could have been April.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wasn't April, but it could have been July or it could have been last month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my buddy Kenny passed away, and Kenny was one of those guys where he's like a Dubin.
Okay.
Like you just assume you're his best friend.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just like he just makes you feel like that
Yeah.
all the time. He's just like, oh, we're best friends. Oh, okay. And then you like see him with someone else, and you're like,
Wait a second.
hey, is that guy? And Kenny was like that. Kenny made everyone feel like they were the most important person in the world at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing like all the Facebook testimonials, it's all like, I remember this one time Kenny did this outrageous gesture for me. And I was like, that's when I left something. I was like, you know what? I was like, this is a guy. And I said, like, I was like, I wasn't that close with Kenny, but he made everyone feel like they were that close.
Mm-hmm.
And then like his sister messaged me like I don't know his sister.
Mm-hmm.
His sister messaged me privately. Thank you so much for your kind words. You know, it means a lot to see all these people talking about my brother this way.
Right, right.
I was like, oh, no, I choked on.
It's a weird process, man. It's
Yeah,
like
but what do you know? How do you?
the last time I remember a situation. So a friend of mine, Jeff, passed away in like the February before, not this one, the last one. I guess it was the February before the pandemic. He passed away.
19 or 20?
19.
19.
Like the right before everything happened, I think.
So
oh
20.
no! It was 3 years ago now. Yeah, because
19.
I was still working for the coffee company. So okay, so 18 February of 18 or 19, whatever the fuck. Anyway, passed away, and I had the year prior, my grandfather had passed away. So I was coming up, it was right after the year anniversary of my grandfather passing away, and I had this really wild PTSD about getting news about someone, a friend of mine passing away, then being, are you invited to funeral? Is that how that works? Or being, I don't know how that works. I don't know what the proper terminology is, but
yeah,
you don't get invited. You just, then, here, the funeral and the wake.
Getting
is
the information.
Yes,
about
I guess. Yeah. Here's I got the information, right? And I was like, I can't do it, because going to my grandfather's funeral was really traumatic. And then like going to a friend's funeral, like I don't like, nobody likes them. And for me, luckily, I haven't had to deal with death a lot in my life. But on the flip side, it's really bad because I don't deal with it well.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. But you're like on the flips. I'm like on the flippity flop. Like we're talking about death. You're like, but on the flippity flop. Like what?
It's
yeah, I don't deal with it well either.
Yeah, no. It's some people. A friend of mine at work has lost a family member and a pet all within the last year, and they came into work like the following days, both times. Like I saw them, and they were like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, blew my mind that he reacted this way. And for me, I know, like, I would be like, I need a month off. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because that's how I am. Anyway, so got this news about Jeff passing away, and then got the news about the funeral, the wake, the et cetera, and I know, like, he was big, like he was in bands and stuff, and lots of people that he was involved with are going to be there. And I got a text like from a friend. He's like, "Yo, we're gonna go to the wake together."
Did I know or no?
He actually, yeah, he was he played bass in At Any Cost. I mean, you knew of him, wasn't like a friend, but you've met him before. And I was like, no, I don't think I can do it.
How'd he pass?
It was never really talked about, but it might have
drugs.
Might have been drugs. Yeah. He kind of had a back and forth relationship with him. So, but
too many 60s of 8 Loco.
Too many 60s of 8 Loco. But I kind of got like a hard talking to from a friend, like, "Yo, I know you're going through however you're reacting because of your grandfather, but this was a friend of yours, and if the tides were turned, you probably would hope that people could put aside their emotions to see you one last time." And that was like a hard reality, but I was like, you know what?
Oh, why? Because you didn't want to go to the funeral.
I just didn't want to be in that environment. It was nothing to do with like
be around it.
Yeah, it was like as soon as I heard the word funeral, I was like stressed out, scared, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then it was kind of like, I don't want to say it was guilted into it, because it wasn't guilt. It was more just like realization and reality about, yes, I know, I understand and respect how you feel, like you were saying to me, but think about what the situation is. It's the last time people are going to get around and honor
Look,
your friend.
I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying, and I appreciate what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna call bullshit on it though a little bit,
Okay.
because like, who's the funeral for? The funeral is for the people. I mean, this is to me. I mean, different people are gonna feel differently, right?
Right.
But for me, the funeral, like birthdays, it's not for you. It's for the people that love you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not ready to process this information, then I'm not ready.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I can
very
go
true.
I can go look at your gravestone in 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or on the anniversary of our band getting together, or like whatever I can have my moment with you when I'm ready to have that
Right.
moment with you.
Right.
I'm not ready right now. My grandfather just passed. My whatever, my wisdom tooth hurts. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm ready to process this information, I'll process this
Mm-hmm.
information.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just like the guy who's like, "Yo, you gotta go to the shit.
Yeah.
You gotta go to the funeral, bro." Like, no, man. Like, I'm not. I don't gotta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't gotta do anything.
Right.
I gotta put it in the bucket that it goes in.
Yeah.
And when it's to the front, then I deal with that bucket.
That's true. No, it's definitely true, and I definitely agree. I'm too much of a like, yeah, you know what, you're right.
You're right. Everyone, it's for everyone. I want to please everyone.
It's, you know what, it's okay. I mean, and
that's cool,
in
man.
the
I'll
end,
put everyone else's feelings first because I'm rich, and
in the end, it was definitely fine. Once it was like I was there and there's people around, and it was like so many people there, and it was nice to see that that's the impact Jeff had
on people.
Yeah.
It's always, that's a real nice thing. It's
Yeah.
like to see the. And this is like the other thing about depression, and like, you don't realize it's there.
Yeah, you're right.
You see all these things and you're like, oh, all these people actually gave a shit and have a memory, and have an anecdote.
There's too many
It's
times.
like, where were you yesterday, man?
Yeah.
It's. When I was hiding in a corner and I didn't want to talk to anybody. Where were you?
Too many times I sit here within the last year, like, like literally, and this is kind of grim, but what would my funeral look like? Who would be there?
What would it
like? What would it look like? Like, am I? And it kind of stems from this fucking weird thing that happens on social media. It's not because of social media. Okay, these two thoughts are part, but they also kind of go hand in hand. There's people that that I know that like have lots of friends. They're really popular. They have a lot of people, a big circle of friends. They're very interactive with people. And then like their birthday comes and they like will post like all these reposts of people being like, yo, happy birthday to my so-and-so, my BFF. And there's like
A1 from day one.
25 fucking reposts of all different friends that just like wish them happy birthday on that day. And I'm like, yo, why aren't I that person? And then I'm like, it's fine. It's not the posting shit on Instagram that matters to me. It's more like did I do something wrong in my friendships that I'm like not that important? Or am I just rolling with people who don't see that that's an important thing? And I think my friends like texting me happy birthday is the equivalent to like posting something like a picture of us together having a good time, being like, yo, happy birthday to my number one from day one. And then I'm like, yo, what would my funeral look like? If people don't wish me happy birthday, are people going to wish me happy death day? Like,
different. I think it's so different. First of all, I don't fucking know when your birthday is.
I know.
I mean, when it rolls around, I'm sure I'm like,
You-
oh, it's Rich's.
No,
you know?
you know what? And it's unfortunate. My birthday is at a very bad time of year for you. And that's how I remember stuff.
When's your birthday?
July 15th.
That's a bad time of year.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you remember when my father passed.
Yeah.
It was at July 13th, though, right?
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, I know it was like either on or a day or so on either side of it, but yeah.
No, 15th. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll remember your birthday. It's crazy. I'm gonna say something.
You're saying it was different. It's different.
It's different. Yeah, I
It's
don't
different.
remember anyone's. I
Yeah.
don't remember anyone's birthdays. I remember vaguely Christie's because it's like around mine or later that month or something. I remember Rachel White's because it's like the next day, and I remember some people like Gwen's my birthday, same birthday.
Yeah.
And
I
my
like how I
wife's,
asked you when your birthday was the day before your birthday, and you completely just like didn't. That was really funny. I was like, well, your birthday's soon, right? And you were like, oh. And it was literally the day before your birthday. Like, oh.
Yeah, because I don't. That's the thing. Like the whole
Like-
birthday thing doesn't. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not for me. I don't give a
Well,
crap.
it's for me. It was for me to be able to independently like send you a nice thing the next day because it was the next day, and be like, yo, I remembered your birthday. And like I do this with almost every single friend. Like I kind of remember when their birthday is, but I always fucking miss it, and I always forget to put it in my calendar. And it's like I'll miss their birthday by a day, and then feel like the friend who only remembered the birthday because everybody else remembered their birthday. And I'm like, oh man, I just wanted to wish them a happy birthday, to let them know. Like I'm always like a half a step behind, like on trying to be like, you know, that person. Just like, I just want to wish them a happy birthday because it might be nice to like, you know, independently hear that their friend remembered your birthday, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. Birthdays don't matter. For me, I don't care.
I'm
Like,
big on birthdays. I'm on the other side of it. I'm like, birthdays
I
are
like
really important to me. Like, they're important to my birthday's important to me. So I feel like I want to like flip that over on other people's birthdays and be like, make it important to them too, even if they don't care, like you. But it's
other
like,
people.
yeah, it's different. Like, I guess.
I always, when people like happy birthday, I'm always like, happy birthday to you too. Like it's everyone's birthday always.
Oh, yay!
Who cares?
We're all born.
I saw something funny the other day. It was like, don't wish me a happy birthday, because I'm a C-section baby. It was like it was forced.
It was.
It was like I didn't want to come out. I wanted to wait. I want my birthday to be April 3rd. I don't know, man. Birthdays is a weird one to me.
Yeah. Like, I think I missed Jim's birthday, but I'm too afraid to ask my friend when his birthday was because I know I'm probably wrong, and I wanted to be able to wish him happy birthday. You probably know it was his birthday already or not because you probably Facebook friends or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't even. Yo, I hide my birthday on Facebook.
See,
Like, I don't-
you are very anti birthday.
I just don't. I don't want the bullshit. I don't want to Here's a photo of me and Neil from the last time we hung out in 2016. Like, all right, man, cool. All right. I know who my friends are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're right.
I know I mean a lot to you. I don't need to hear like one day a year that you remembered something insignificant about my life. You know what I mean? Like the fact that you remember the day my dad passed away is like that to me is like, well, that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
that's someone who cares. Like that's someone who has a place in his brain for me.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I know you'll be at my funeral, so we'll call a deal here. We'll make a pact here. I'll never wish you a happy birthday as long as you come to my funeral.
How about this? I'll die first. We don't have to worry about anything.
Deal.
You let me know. You'd be like, I'm on my deathbed. I'll be like, all right.
Man. Uh,
Yeah, it's just that like I'm saying before, like it's just the grief, the empathy grief
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is so much weirder to deal with. Like I know what loss feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I can put that in a bucket, like I keep using the word, but like, you know
No,
what I
it
mean?
makes
Like you
sense.
put
Yeah.
that in
Yeah, you put it in a that makes sense.
a bucket.
Put it in a bucket.
But like the empathy, like the man, what he must be going through. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when are you okay after that? Like if like, think about it. Like if I lost like you or Dubin or something, like I don't know how I would deal. You
those
know?
those situations, man, it's like, and you know as well as anybody else does who's lost someone or gone through that process, is like your brain functions in such a way that you never have felt it before, probably. Like you just are overwhelmed with so many things that you just like have no idea how to function. I mean, that's how I felt when I've had to deal with death the 3 times, like when somebody close to me passed away. Each time I reacted in a way where I didn't know how to function. Like and it took forever to be like brought back to earth. And it's like, and like after my cat passed away, dealing with that, I'm like, all right, 6 months later, whatever it was, a year later, I'm like still trying to like hold on to the memory of how I felt. So next time I have to deal, I can deal with it a little bit better. Because I'm like, all right, I reacted this way and this was crazy and I did this and I did that. I need to not do these 2 or 3 things, but I know that's going to be impossible. Like the extreme emotion is like, it's overwhelming. It just takes you over and you just kind of react in such a way that like you have no control over it, but you want to. And I'm sure like your friends and your people who care about you, who know that you must be going through something extreme, will reach out and be like, what can I do for you? And like all you want to say is like, yo, fix me. Like make me not be in this place right now. Like take this away. And that's like,
bring Buddy back.
Yeah. I want that.
Another month.
Bring him back and then like calm me down, because those are the only 2 things that like I care about right now. Like it's like just being another person, like having this like thing awaken inside you and just take over until you're strong enough to like push it aside for a bit, and then it like comes back like 10:30 at night. The other night I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna cry now because I feel that loss again. It's like it's a tricky thing to try to get rid of it forever, but and I've the grief and like dealing with it personally, I've been like, I don't know why. It's because it is because I'm sitting at home alone for the last year. That's why we're doing a lot of these things, these mental gymnastics. I'm sitting here and like legitimately being like, what am I gonna when my next pet passes away, I'm like
When-
I'm like going through the steps. I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I going to do? Because Buddy's situation was like an emergency, kind of like came out of nowhere. A bunch of shit happened within 24 hours, and then it was like he died, and then I had to deal. You know what I mean? And there was all this like backtracking I had to do. Now I'm like, all right, well, first sign I see one of my pets starting to get sick, I'm going to bring him to the vet, and if the vet tells me I have to put him to sleep, I'm going to be like, yes, because I don't want to come home and find my pet dead again. You know what I mean? Like, or I'm like, oh, well, I already dealt with it, so if it happens again, it'll be, you know, and I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. But I sit here and like, these are the things that I think about nowadays. I'm like, how am I going to deal with losing something I care about? And it's like, that's not what I should be thinking about. That's not what anybody should be thinking about. As my cat, like, come on. She's like, what are you talking about? Come here. As she like, it's like tapping at my leg.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, I don't want to think about these things, but I think a reason why I'm thinking about it so hard is that like, I don't want to feel as bad as I did the first time or that last time. And it's like, I'm just trying to be a little bit stronger of a person, but it's like, yo, that's going to be impossible. And all I need, I think, next time is like support, like direct, like somebody that can just be like, there with me. Cause like I didn't have any, like with Buddy, it was like I was alone. It was in the middle of the night. It was like nobody was around for a day or two. I was just like this, man, what a time. And what a time, just like, I'm glad I'm saying it out loud. So like you hear what's going through my head. So like you have an idea as to like what my brain is going through. So it's like, it doesn't sound as insane as I might make it out to be if I don't say it out loud. It helps a lot to just be like, hey, these are the wild thoughts that my brain has right now.
It just sounds totally normal. It's just a normal thought. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
So that show, The Unicorn.
It's a show?
Yeah. So there's like a new trend in television.
Okay.
I don't even think it's a new trend. Now that I think about it, it's a pretty old trend. Like the sitcom premise is a guy has to raise children without a woman. It's like, that's an interesting premise. Like what the... And then I mean, not to go off topic, but the other stupid premise that I'm noticing lately is white people and black people live together. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's
wow,
like,
crazy.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Crazy.
Like, why is that what? Here's a sitcom about a white guy who's dating a black lady. Oh my god! Hilarity! It's like
wait a minute, we're past this.
Yeah, I thought we were like normalizing this shit already. But there's this show, The Unicorn, and apparently a unicorn is like a widower because all single middle-aged men are divorcees.
Right. Okay.
Women never die.
Not like the other way around. Right. Cool. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. But that being said, flimsy premise aside, it's an emotional show. It's funny and it's got like its moments where he's dealing with loss and the kids are dealing with loss. And one episode one of the past couple episodes was they're gonna do like a more the mom was a teacher at the kids' school, so they're gonna do a memorial at the school. Yada yada. The two girls are talking, and the one girl is like 14, so like, or 12, whatever, 14, let's say. And so the mom passed away when she was 12, and then the other girl's like 12, so the mom passed away when she was like 9.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're talking, they're like, "Oh, you remember when mom made us those spider costumes and the blah blah blah." And the dad and the older daughter are like laughing and joking, and the younger daughter is like getting pissed, and she storms out. And then the resolution is, or like the turn to resolution is that she she doesn't have these memories.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's too young. She
Right.
doesn't remember. No, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember mom making those fucking costumes. Like, it's not. And you guys talking about it is just making it harder on me. And like, and then she says, "What if I forget about mom?"
Oh wow. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit," you know.
Yeah.
And like, it does make you think, like, because that's the whole thing. Is like, people like, "Oh, not in relationship to whatever else, but in relationship to loss, dealing with like dead parents, or you know I always say to people, like, it doesn't get easier, but the time between pain gets longer.
Yeah. Yep.
But what happens when the time between pain gets too long? Like,
Mm.
I don't I don't want to not ever feel, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel bad all the time, but I don't want to never feel bad about it. Like, I want to remember how much it hurt to
Mm-hmm.
lose someone so close.
That's why you
Don't
keep
you?
like you keep those pictures or those trinkets or those things around, right? Like to have a memory, but it's like, excuse me, it's like for,
Just cough on your cat.
yeah, in a way. Um,
COVID in your face.
um, you keep these things around, but they don't always have to function as like oh, yeah, remember that thing? Like you can utilize the memory or the emotion triggered from like having a picture or like a thing that your loved one like enjoyed or whatever that you have now as like something to evoke an emotion. It doesn't always have to be like a happy one, right? You could always, because that's what happens with, I have Buddy's ashes in on a shelf in my bedroom with a picture, the last picture I have of him and me 2 days before he died, of him like laying on my stomach with like his face on my chin, like probably like the most, like the saddest thing sitting in front of me every single day when I go to bed. And I can utilize it in a way like if I'm having a bad day and I need like a cry, or I need like a little I need to just get it out, like I can look at it and feel sad and remember. And then sometimes like I can wake up in the morning and I can look up and I can see that picture and be like, oh, because like there's a story behind that picture. It was like the last time he was able to like hop up on my bed and hop up on me, and he just laid there. Like he hadn't been able to walk. He was like falling over when he was walking. But this one morning, he had woken up and he like,
Little spunk, little spry in his step.
yeah, he like stumbled over, pulled himself up on the bed, pulled himself up on me, and then laid down. And I have a picture of that, and it's like I remember it. I'm always gonna remember it, and then, so kind of like what you're saying, I'm gonna remember it. And I'm always going to remember that story. And I'm always going to remember that he couldn't walk, but yet he still fought his way over to the bed, and he still came up and he still laid down. And then I can sit there and be like sad about it and be like, I can remember all the bad stuff that led up to like post picture, all the things like him passing away and all that stuff. But then I can also just remember like the fact that he was like found the strength and energy to be like, yo, probably not going to be here much longer, so I'm going to sit on you and purr, and like, it makes me
Yeah.
sad.
One last time.
Yeah, it's like a sad happy, like he was literally like, I think he's saying goodbye. Like he knew he was sick or something.
Oh.
It's like it was like a. It's a very sad thing to think about, but it also makes me kind of like realize that there was so much emotion involved between me and my pet. You know what I mean? Like they're like with everybody. Like, you love your pets and they love you back, and that moment is captured forever. I have a picture of it. And it's like. So basically, what I'm saying is that like I will always have that picture. I'll always have his ashes. They'll always be somewhere, and they'll always be there for me to utilize in a way which is appropriate for me at the time. Like I could go weeks without looking up in that shelf, and I could just focus on what's going on and whatever, and then like I keep saying, like I'll have moments in the evening. You just kind of just think about it. And you're like, oh, there it is. There's that, like what you're saying, like how much time goes between like the last time you thought about it, and it just pops up. Just having those little reminders around help, I guess, to kind of keep it relevant, but not keep it like forced in your face. I have my grandfather's picture on my shelf in the living room. I have like one of his like little, he had a camera. It's called a stereo realist camera. It has 2 lenses on it, and it like made like 2 slides, and then you put them on top of each other, and then like you looked at them and they were like 3D photos. It was these wild camera from way back in the day. And he gave me that, and I have that on my shelf, like up with like next to Buddy's stuff, like my my remembrance shelf of things, and I can look at it and be like, Papa, you know what I mean? And just be like, all right, there he is. But I could also look at it and be like, sad. But I don't. Every time I think about it, I think about these things, I think I utilize it as a lesson in getting a little bit stronger on dealing with the sadness, because like you don't want every time you think about someone you lost or something you lost, you don't want it to trigger like
a sad
thing,
I did something the other day that was like did you get to know my dad ever?
No, it's the memory. Do you want to know the memory of your parents for me?
Sure.
Your dad, I remember he sat on a chair in like the den next or like the kitchen. Like that's all I remember. He would either be sitting there or not sitting there. Yeah. And your mom, you would always close the door because she was in her bedroom. Before when I came over, you'd always go, hold on a sec, and close the door. You'd talk to your mom for a sec, and you close the door. And that's it. That's what I remember, because I would always come over your house like super late. So like your parents were probably asleep or going to bed by then anyway. But yeah, that's what I do remember. That's what I remember.
That's so funny. Yeah, my mom was like, if anyone came over, I had to shut her bedroom door because she was ashamed of her being a hoarder.
Yeah.
Like just piles of garbage in her bedroom, and she was ashamed of it.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to do anything about it. Couldn't get rid of it.
You just rather just close the door and not
close the door.
Yeah.
My dad was like he's an asshole. he like a lot of dad jokes, but like very specific to him. Like you go to a restaurant and the waitress would be like, "Oh, how you guys doing today?" And you'd be like, "If you really wanted to know, you would have called earlier."
Oh God.
But I did something the other day that he didn't do that like is a him thing to do though.
Mm-hmm.
The waitress was like, I went to grab a bite after whatever, it was just me alone. And she was like, she goes, any table you'd like. I think that's how she phrased it. And yeah, I think that's how she phrased it. She said, any table you'd like. And I said, okay, tell those 2 ladies to move. And she was like,
The head tilt. What?
like a dog whistle.
Yeah,
She was like, and I lost it. I was like, oh my god! I was like, I just wrote a joke for my dad. I just wrote his joke. Like he would never, like he would definitely use that. All right, tell those two people to move. Anytime you'd like. Tell that guy to move.
I love dads at a restaurant joke. Those are the best.
Ugh,
Those are the
worst.
best.
The worst. The bill comes like I didn't ask for this. Stupid.
Uh,
I wrote a dad joke the other day too. I said, and this isn't like a my dad. This is just a dad joke. If how come raw chicken gives you salmonella, but raw salmon rarely gives you chickenilla?
oh God.
All right, that's a wrap. Episode 18 in the can.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
And
Don't kill yourself. It's bad luck.
It's very bad luck. And we'll catch you.
People get sad around you if you do that.
And for anybody wondering, my birthday is July 15th. Just so if anybody wants to wish me a happy birthday. Okay, talk to you later. All right, stop.